Good morning, YouTube. This is Jamaica5288. Today we're going to talk about smothered chicken and the perfect rice. It's not going to take us long. Rice is easy. And of course, chicken. Hey, I know how to do chicken. Got some mustard greens on the stove. I've already started a video on that separately, but you all can tune into that if you want to. Here we go with this chicken. So I have my chicken in a bowl, and of course, I'm going to get some cold water, run it down the chicken till it's covered, and I'm going to take some lemon juice, pour it on there, and soak it. Okay? Lemon juice, yes. Here's the ingredients we're going to need for our chicken. Some Lawry's, garlic powder, onion powder, cream of mushroom soup, and some mushrooms. You don't have to have the mushrooms. I have these in my cabinet, so I'm going to use them before they go bad or they go past the best by date. So in the sink, I have my chicken that was resting with the lemon juice and the water. We're going to pour that out and wash all that lemon juice off, okay? So I'm going to keep running the sink and dumping it out until it comes out somewhat clear. See you in a sec. So we have washed this, rinsed this off until the water, you can see it's clear, right? We're going to drain that off. Don't let the chicken front and fall into the sink like I almost did. And I'll see you at the season station. All right, so the chicken is over here. Let me get my charger out of here. My phone, I'm having to use my phone right now. Okay, I got my chicken in here, and I got off as much water as I possible. I drained it as much as possible. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna season my chicken. So, we're gonna coat it first with some Lawry's. I like Lawry's because Lawry's is not as salty. McCormick is a lot more salty than Lawry's to me, in my opinion. So I always use Lawry's whenever possible. You're going to get that thing seasoned up real good. Okay. There we are. You see how you can see it? You want to be able to see it. There is no measurement. I'm using I got 5 chicken legs in here. All right. Then keep my chicken hand away from my season. I'm going to take this one right here, which is the granulated garlic powder. I'm going to put some of that on there. About 10 shakes. Until you can somewhat see it on your chicken, okay? You do not want to be stingy with your seasoning. Onion powder, we're going to shake that on. I don't like onion that much. I'm just going to put a little bit on there. And I am going to let this sit and marinate with the plate over it for about, I say, 15 minutes. And I'll see you then, all right? Okay, and our time is up. I'm going to take some of the oil that I use. This is coconut oil that I used from a previous recipe. And put a little bit of that in the frying pan. Just enough so that the chicken doesn't stick to the pot. Put that to the side. Wait for this prep pan to heat up. I don't know why I always put it on the small burner. I need to put it on the high one. We'll let this oil heat up, and then I'm going to take my chicken and put it in the pan. Okay, our pan is heated. And you can tell, because when you shake your hand, if you have wet hands like me, it'll start sizzling. What we're going to do is braise our chicken. Braising chicken just means that you're going to fry the outside. You're not looking for it to be cooked. You're just looking for it to be browned on the outside of the chicken. I take my chicken legs, make sure the skins are down. I don't want to burn the meat. I want it on the skin. I want it to be brown on the outside. Now I still have my seasons out because I need to season the gravy also. And I'm going to take all that there's going to be some extra seasoning on the bottom. I'm going to keep that. I'll wait for this chicken to braise. And I will put the seasoning that's in this pot, in this bowl, and back into this pot. Let me wash my hands this moment. So I got a pair of prongs so I can turn my chicken. All I'm doing is quickly trying to get this thing brown. I'm gonna bring this camera closer, okay? Cut the seam, cut the seam. So I brought the the camera closer so you can see what I'm doing. And all I'm doing is trying to brown the chicken. You see that? Brown it. And it's called braising. It just takes a little bit of time to do that. And on the bottom of the pan, you're going to see little brown speckles start to form, and that's called fond. You want to use that fond. You don't want to leave. You want to leave that on the bottom of the pan. I hope the frying sound isn't too loud. But you want to leave the fond on the bottom of the pan. I'm gonna cut the seam, and when I get it brown enough, I will come right back. So the chicken is dark enough for me. This is what you want it to look like. Brown on all sides. You don't want it burnt, but you want it brown. It's gonna look a little dark on something, but the gravy will take care of that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take some cream of mushroom soup and some water. Okay? Put the cream of mushroom soup in first. Let me get the thing. And I have my temperature on 8 now. I'm turning it down to about 4. So the cream of mushroom soup, did this can get smaller? Because it looks smaller to me. Anyway, that's just me. I don't know if y'all saw the same thing I saw, because I remember these being a lot bigger. So I'm not going to use this kind of spoon in a non-stick pan. I'm going to have to use a wooden spoon. So I'm going to take that with a wooden spoon and I'm going to mix it around. Take my water, put it in there. And what's going to happen is this is going to create a gravy, right? Right now it's white, but the more you cook it, the browner it's going to get. You may have to add a little bit more water. I'm spilling my gravy all over the place. And I don't have my sponge near me. You may have to get a little bit more water, but what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit in there. And I'm going to take a little taste, okay? Because I don't know if so I dripped some in my hand. You see that? I need some more seasoning. Take a little bit more Lawry's. And I'm going to sprinkle it in there. Remember how I told you consistently have to check your food for season perfection? This is what I mean. And it goes by your taste bud. I can't tell you how much seasoning to put in there. You have to use your taste buds in order to determine what flavoring you want in there. But Lawry's is a multi-season. It's a mixture of different seasoning. So you shouldn't have to go back and forth with the onion salt and garlic salt unless that's what you want to do. So what you see right now, we're getting a gravy, right? I don't want the gravy yet. I want it to continue to run down. Let me get some more filtered water. So I'm going to put a little bit more water in there. So I used about 1.5 cups of water to this one little, it's like 10.5 ounces of mushroom soup. All right, I want to use all my mushroom soup. Try to get it all out of there. All right, so we're going to let this cook for a while, and I'll be right back. Another thing is that you want to make sure that your gravy does not scorch. You see these bubbles starting to form? That means that I'm running out of liquid. I want my gravy to get browner, so I'm going to let it go for a little while, but I'm going to keep my eye on it and make sure that it doesn't start turning black and burning, okay? So if you have to, and it starts bubbling like this, and you're afraid that it's going to scorch, just go ahead and add another cup of water. You don't want your chicken boiling, but you do not want to burn your gravy, okay? That's very important. So it's getting a little bit too reduced for me, so I'm going to pour some more water in there. We also want to make sure that our chicken, we start turning our chicken so that it'll cook on both sides. You cannot eat raw chicken. I did something that may have perplexed a couple of people earlier by tasting it, but I noticed that I took a taste test and the chicken was not fully cooked, but it was braised. If you're not comfortable in doing that, do not do it, okay? I don't want anybody to get sick. So I'm still reducing. I added water, and I'm going to keep adding water as I go and reducing the gravy until I get the chicken cooked and the reduction into the gravy of the consistency that I want. See you soon. So I've been cooking it for about 20 minutes, and I like the consistency. You can see. I might have to reduce this a little bit more after I steam it. So I'm going to put my mushrooms on there now. Put the mushrooms on there last because they have a tendency to disappear. I took this jar. I got this from Dollar Tree for like $1.25. Took this jar and I drained it and I washed the mushrooms off because I didn't want any of the brine left on there. So I'm putting my mushrooms in there. This is mushroom gravy. This is going to be delicious. Here's my top. Put the top on. Turn your fire down to about 3. That is half of medium on a gas stove. And we're gonna let this sit, and we need our chicken to cook. Do that for about, we're gonna keep this lid on there for about 15 minutes, and we're gonna check again, okay? So if we have chicken with gravy, you know we have to have rice, right? So I'm gonna make a quick, simple rice with nothing in it. I mean, it's just simple rice, and you can, if you don't know how to cook rice, this one is a cannot miss way to make rice. Just a minute. Can't miss rice. Here we go. I got a cup of rice in this pot. We're gonna put some cold water in here, and we're gonna wash this rice until it's no longer cloudy. See that? See how cloudy that is? We don't want that. We want it clear. So you keep washing your rice until the water is clear. I'll be back when I get mine that way. So I've cleaned my rice, and by washing the rice, I mean wash it or rinse it with water, nothing else, okay? So we're gonna take this rice, and I still got a little bit of water in here. Let me dump it out. And what they say to use is have a 2-to-1 ratio for your rice. So if you have 1 cup of rice, you use 2 cups of water. I don't agree with that. I say 1 cup of rice, 1 7/8 cup of water. So that's what we're gonna do, okay? So I said that it's gonna be 1 7/8, and if I'm a little crooked, I'm sorry. So there's still water in here, so I'm gonna go over to my, let me move my seasoning out the way. Go over to my Berkey and get 1 and just under 1 cup of water in this measuring cup. Make sure that the rice is covered. Come on, rice, act right, act right. What you're gonna put is some salt. And that is, I'm putting in like a teaspoon of salt. Y'all see that? Put that in there. Either you're gonna use some chicken fat or you're gonna use some margarine. Excuse me, not margarine, butter. I don't use margarine. I'm so sorry I said that. So I went over here and I got some of my butter, and I'm just gonna cut off a pack of butter. If you're cooking more rice, just triple it. So let's see, this thing has measurements on it. So I'm gonna use about a tablespoon of butter on here. Cut that off and just put it on the top. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn the flame all the way up on high, bring this to a boil, and once it comes to a boil, we're gonna stick it in our oven. Turn your oven on, bake at 350 to preset it, okay? Because we're gonna take this rice once it boils, put some foil over with a couple of holes in it and stick it in the oven. Then the rice is gonna be done in 15 minutes. You cannot mess with this recipe. Just a second. And back to our chicken. I got my rice going over here. I'm gonna separate this video so that if you just wanna make the rice without the chicken, you can, because last time I combined them both. So my chicken has been going for over 20 minutes. I said 15, but I got distracted. So we're gonna look at our chicken, all right? Oh, there goes our chicken. See that? Doesn't that look good? I got the gravy all done. Now I'm gonna check to see if I need to reduce it. See how watery this is? I don't want it that way. You see that? I don't want it. So I'm gonna turn this joker up. I'm gonna turn this flame up and I'm gonna reduce. I'm gonna reduce this gravy, okay? So follow along. Don't burn your gravy because we're gonna have to stir and stir and stir to make sure that we don't mess this thing up. Here's my spoon. I'm gonna just keep on moving. Bring you closer. I'm gonna keep on moving. Don't want to mess your chicken up. Chicken is cooked, definitely. If you're looking at this and it splits, it starts splitting and you don't see any more blood. You see that? That chicken is cooked. We're gonna flip it over just so that the other side can just as tender as the bottom side. Our flame is up. Ooh, I can feel the heat from the rice. Our flame is up on high. And this stuff will start reducing really quick. You want to keep on moving the gravy around because you do not want it to scorch. And reduction is just a reduction. That's all it is. It's getting the water out of the pan and just being, you know, being left with the consistency of gravy that you want. And this thing want to pop up on me. What? You gonna pop up on me? You better not. You better not. Who you think you messing with? Gravy. Mushroom gravy got an attitude. Yes, it does. But it's gonna fall in line. It's gonna line up. It's going to line up. Let me stop talking before it pop on me and I scream like a little girl. I'm getting that gravy. Yep, I'm getting it down. People call this a sauce reduction. It's just, that's what it is, a reduction. Getting that some of that fluid out of it. While we're talking, our rice is starting to come to a boil. Once it does, I'm going to take it and put it in an oven at 350 for 15 minutes. Of course, there's going to be a piece of foil covering that, or you could use a lid. I don't think my lid for this pan will fit into the top of that oven because I'm using the top section of the oven. And that one is particular about the size of pan you can put in it. Keep on reducing. Isn't this exciting? All right, our oven is, that was just our alarm saying our oven is ready to go at 350. And our rice is ready to go in the oven. I'll be right back. And so our rice is boiling. We're going to turn this pot off and we're going to put some foil over it and put it in the oven. I'll be right back. So we covered the rice with foil and we're going to stick it in the oven on 350 for 15 minutes. We'll be back in 15 minutes. And our chicken is reduced. See that? Oh, it's so pretty. It's so beautiful. Look at that. Look at that. You know, when you can make a line, you know your gravy is ready. When you can take your spoon and put a line in there. You see how that line show up and then it disappear? That's what you're doing. You're drawing a line in your gravy. That means that it is ready. That is perfect gravy right there. You don't want it no thicker or no thinner. timer for 15 minutes. It has went off for the rice and I pulled it off. First thing I did was I pulled the foil off of the rice when I took it out of the oven. And look at this. Perfect, grainy rice. And look at this. Perfect. Perfect. I prefer parboiled rice to other rices because it's really grainy and it's good. I don't like sticky rice as much. You could do the same process with any type of rice. It's just I prefer parboiled rice. There's not a lot of salt on that. If you want more salt, you can add it. The butter makes it the consistency of the fat soaks into the rice, so you will not taste the butter, but it makes it taste better. Okay, well, now we're gonna plate. Just give me a second. I gotta get this thing together and you gonna see. I've been cooking all day. I've been cooking all day. And I'm done, YouTube. I'm done. This is Jamaica 5288. This is smothered chicken with white rice and mustard greens. Mustard greens, you can find that one on another video. I just did one today previously, and I just incorporated all of this stuff together. You all have a blessed day. Take care of yourself and take care of each other. Bye.